Good evening and welcome to Frontline 2017. My name is Samuel Njoroge and the discussion has already begun on set. It is such a pleasure to be bringing you this particular conversation this evening. We are coming to you live from our KBC Channel 1 studios, our sister station Y254, and our radio station Radio Taifa. Karibu sana to the program. And tonight we've heard what the aspirants have had to tell us. 2 weeks to the general election, we would like to understand some of the key issues that should characterize your decision come the 8th of August 2017 as far as the gubernatorial seat is concerned. What should you be looking out for? Where are we coming from as far as devolution is concerned? What are the gains? What are the opportunities? What are the losses? What is the way forward? That is the discussion we will be having tonight. The hashtag remains to be the Frontline KBC. Talk to us. The SMS line is 22162. I will be doing this with my colleague Isaac Lamoka, and in a few he will be coming to us to let us know how your feedback can count on this particular discussion. But for now, I'd like to introduce the guests that I'm having right here with me. I'd like to begin with straight ahead. I've got governance analyst Ray Ochieng. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure to have you. And right next to him, we've got a lady, Millie Luanga, a governance analyst too. Karibu sana to the program. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
That's fantastic. And next to her, we've got Chekai Musa, who is the national speaker, Bunge la Mwananchi. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I've got a face that we're all familiar with, courtesy of our show Eye on Politics every Monday morning on Good Morning Kenya. But tonight we've got Simeha as a political analyst joining us for the Frontline 2017. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I could be better, though.
That's why we have tomorrow.
Yes.
That's why we have tomorrow. I'd like to begin with you, Ray.
Yeah.
The scorecard for you, as far as devolution is concerned, has it scored? Has it not scored?
It has a mixed ball of evaluation. One, in terms of, this was the takeoff of devolution. You know, in every process of every project, there's always the forming and the storming. So we've watched a lot of drama in the counties. There's been a lot of good and bad. And at least at this point, you will not, model counties will begin to start to postulate themselves in the second wave. Because right now we had the systems of counties taking place. And actually, what you will realize that what may happen in the next few months or some few years to come, many governors are going to go to jail in terms of, some of them we may visit them in prisons.
Yes.
And for one fact, in terms of structuration, in terms of devolution has got various components. Because the administrative component, it also got the fiscal component, whereby we are talking about monies that are being wired to the county. And then when it comes to administrative component, whereby we found out that some counties do not put a lot of structures. So I know we are going to be getting into the intricacy of the debate, but
yes,
for now, I would give devolution a 60%.
60%.
Yeah, so I would give them, let me give them 70%.
Give them 70.
Yeah, with many other factors that we'll be highlighting in the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Millie, did we effectively prepare for a devolved system of government?
I think we were. I think we were prepared for it psychologically, maybe system-wise, not quite so much. I think because we needed to have been sure of the checks and balances before we got to the devolution stage. I think that TA, the transition authority that was there, guiding the process before devolution took root, tried to put some in place. But the biggest problem we have, in my opinion, is that you find that the biggest check, which should have been the Mwananchi, because that was the biggest gain that devolution was supposed to bring to us, to enable us to participate more and to be able to guide what goes on in our county. We still didn't quite understand that. So most Wananchi thought that we were still waiting to be told what needs to be done for us. And therefore that check has still failed and therefore let down. The governors started off tottering a bit, but I think within the first year, most of them were able to begin to learn that this is not quite what they had anticipated, and many tried to do certain things in liaison with the national government.
Right.
But without that check from the Wananchi, we could not quite achieve what we had anticipated in the Katiba.
So Mwananchi was sort of left out.
Mwananchi slowed down. They were not left out because they have to bring themselves in.
Right.
And I think that there was need for a bit more civic education for people to understand their roles and understand that you're supposed to insist on these services and not think that when you're given the services that you praise the person as a Lord and Mighty for giving you that service because it is your right. It is their duty.
Right.
Yes.
We weren't supposed to all hail anyone.
No, no, no.
We've got a representative from Bunge la Mwananchi. Were you ever left out? Did you slow down? Did you ever understand what exactly devolution had to offer?
Devolution was meant to work, but because of the current government, which has always been at loggerhead with the county governments in the country, you find that actually it has performed dismally, because the current government, the central government, which is supposed to allocate a certain amount of money, was giving money depending on where the person comes from, or it was allocating money depending on the political alignment or where you political loyalty. For instance, you have heard recently last week the president telling the governor of Kilifi that he has done poorly with the money which was given. But you will find that the same amount of money was given to counties like Nyeri and Moranga and Embu. But the current president is not questioning that kind of scenario. But I would say that devolution has worked in some parts of in various counties, like 4 counties only. For instance, in Nairobi, it has worked. In Machakos, it has worked. But if you go to a county like Bungoma, where, for instance, that's my home county, where I come from. Sometimes if I go to meetings and I say I come from Bungoma County, people start stories of wheelbarrow and all that. So it has a negative impact to my personality. I went to a place like Gambala and I said I come from Kenya, and the first question that people comes up with, wheelbarrow. So so you see, actually it pains you negatively where you go. So in fact, sometimes I don't identify myself as a person from Bungoma. So for me to be able to be proud of Bungoma County is for this governor who is there, Ken Musaka, he must go home. Because he has brought a very negative image to some people like us.
But Lusaka can go home na kesho mwingine akuja atanunua the same wheelbarrow at 250,000.
You know, in 2015, 2016,
yes,
Bungoma County was given 8.2 billion shillings. Out of 8.2 billion shillings, the governor took around 48 million shillings. That he told the people that he was buying pornography with 48 million shillings.
Yes.
So it means that the Bungoma County has become so much pornographic that even the county government is paying out of attention in fighting pornography. That you see, this money can be given to youth. There are a number of people in Bungoma County who are not schooling because of school fees. They don't have school fees. So why can he take this money and pay school fees for these young people than spending a lot of money fighting pornography? That's nonsense.
We've heard you, Chekai, we've heard you, and I'd like to cross to you, Sibaha. The ills that have affected devolution, are they only political in nature?
No, there are many ills, but first let me just hope that people don't, when I introduce myself, they don't look at me and think that 11.4 million toilet, the governor of Vihiga apparently built a pit latrine that cost 11.4 million. So now that he said that, I'm wondering whether when I introduce myself as coming from Vihiga, people think, 11.4.
I may not introduce my governor.
11.4 million toilet. That has really got me thinking.
Yes.
I may just be be careful and just say I come from Nairobi. Anyhow, Sami, but first let me begin with I think a question you asked earlier and just link it to what you've asked. Were we prepared? When you look at the constitutive side, and I like what she said in terms of psychologically the mind, Kenyans really wanted this, that bring resources, services, and closer leadership, governance, bring it closer to the people. So yes, psychologically we were prepared. And then we turned that psychological preparation into a constitution, defining for ourselves, constituting the form of governance that we want. So we were prepared, and that's how come it is perhaps still the most popular chapter, perhaps, or one of the most popular chapters in the Constitution. So we were prepared. But when it came to the definitive side, beginning to give this, what we have constituted definition, detailed definition, and this is through acts of parliament, through policy and so on, people who are in power immediately began to dilute what the Constitution provides for in terms of devolution. And indeed, I agree with him, led by the national government. Right. National government, to me, is led by people who do not believe in devolution. Because all the way they have fought it. They neutered that transition authority, in my humble opinion. It really was a miserable failure. It did not really transition. It did not really midwife devolution as it ought to have happened. We got a national government that began to immediately fight with county governments. Yet, it is a constitutional duty for national government to build capacity, particularly institutional capacity, to help build systems, to literally midwife and ensure that they babysit, they walk, they ensure that this child is on its feet, running and doing its own thing, and give it its own house. But unfortunately, we have a national government that immediately began to fight county governments as if, some kind of sibling rivalry. Yet this was supposed to be a parent. This was supposed to be the first children, these 47 children. Right. So the problems are anchored in there, defining for ourselves the kind of devolution that is constituted in our constitution, and then acting on it, giving it life. Right. We have failed as a nation, and these are it's public authorities that have failed us to give it the life that it ought to have been given. No doubt, there are many places in this country where devolution has brought a positive impact, albeit limited, where people have seen things for the first time. You'll hear places where they've seen tarmac for the first time. You'll hear places where people have accessed certain services for the very first time. But this has been overshadowed by the looting spree. I think the examples he gives, the example I give of 11.4 million toilet, the examples he gives of wheelbarrows in Bungoma, and the many places are just by the tiny speck. Because it has been really major looting. Not even corruption or stealing, but looting. Of public resources by governors and their teams. Yes.
And that begs the question, were we naive as a citizen when it comes to how devolution is supposed to function? Simeha believes it's a political problem. Chekai has an issue being associated with Bungoma County in the first place. Millie says that we slowed down as a citizenry, and Ray believes that devolution has scored a 6 out of 10. What are your views?
Actually, I added one.
You added one, now it's 7.
Out of 10.
Okay, 7 out of 10. So what are your views? Has devolution actually worked for you? And that is precisely the reason why we are crossing over to Isaac Lemoka. Isaac Lemoka, if you can hear me, welcome so much to the program, and kindly let us know how we can engage with this particular program from our Radio Taifa studios.
Asante sana, shukrani sana mwenzangu Sam, nimekupata kwa njia safi kabisa, na kama ulivyosema hapo awali, ndio leo hii tunazungumzia ugatuzi na jinsi ambavyo ugatuzi umeweza kutekelezwa, na kama tulikuwa tumeweza kujiandaa sisi kama taifa tangia mwaka 2010 wakati katiba mpya iliweza kuanza kufanya kazi, na wakati huo basi ndipo mambo mengi sana yakaweza kutokea, na wengi wanasema kwamba kuwepo kwa ongezeko la majukumu mengi sana ambayo yangefanywa na afisi moja, sasa majukumu kama hayo yanafanywa na watu wengi sana na afisi nyingi sana katika swala nyeti ya swala ambalo linazunguka ugatuzi, na wengine hawana majukumu, hivyo basi watu wanalipwa pesa ambazo zingefaa kufanya mambo mengine, ndiposa kwamba wengine hapa wanasema kwamba itakuwa serikali na taifa la Kenya linapoteza sana pesa ambazo kwa hakika zingewekwa kufanya miradi mingine ya maendeleo. Asante sana kwa wageni wetu ambao wamefika studioni leo hii, na ndani ya studio pia mimi leo hii nina Samson Owimbo Ojiayo ambaye si mwingine ni Director Athi Water Services Board na pia ndo founding member wa bunge la wananchi, yuko ndani ya studio. Tutakuwa tunazungumza mengi sana kuhusiana na hilo, na kama ungependa jumuika na sisi kwenye mitandao ya kijamii Facebook, hali kadhalika Twitter, wacha nikupatie SMS line yetu ni 22162, tanguliza na neno The Frontline, na pia kama ungependa kusema na sisi moja kwa moja kupitia nambari za simu za studio mubashara 0700176699 au 0732745111, sawa sawa, au nitarudia kwa Kiingereza 0700176699 or 0732745111. Sasa mitandao ya kijamii Facebook na Twitter at KBC Channel 1 at @ilemoka na bila shaka @sam Njoroge. Sawa, lakini wacha nichukue fursa hii kuweza kujumuika na Bwana Samson Owimbo Ojiayo. Tunazungumzia ugatuzi leo hii. Umewasikiza Mili amesema kwamba we were prepared but not system wise, okay? Alafu moja pia akasema kwamba transition ilikuwa kidogo imetupiga chenga sisi kama Wakenya. Wewe kibinafsi utasema vipi kuhusiana na ugatuzi? Je,
ya kwanza nimeshukuru kabisa kwa sababu mmenipatia nafasi kwa kwenye studio ili niongee na wananchi na wanisikize kwa makini.
Naam.
Nimefurahia kwa sababu wenzangu pia wanazungumza kuhusu mambo ya ugatuzi. Ya kwanza, ugatuzi ni kitu ya maana kwa sababu ukienda kule kwenye county utapata yale magatuzi yameyatenda kwa mambo ya mabarabara zile ndogo ndogo, kwa mambo ya mashule na vitu zile ambao magatuzi yamefanya. Lakini naweza nikasema hivi, tulipokuwa naandika constitution, kuna vitu ambaye sisi wenyewe kama wananchi, hata wasomi waliokuwa kule bungeni, wengine wao hawakukaa chini hata wakautofautisha umuhimu ya kuwa governor na umuhimu ya kuwa senator. Na saa hizi hata kama baada ya kutaja jina ya watu, kwa sababu sio kazi yangu, utapata wengine wasomi walikimbia kwenda kwa senator walipogundua ya kwamba sasa governor ndio king na yeye ndiye amebeba zile pela zote. Wakapata hapana, hii kwa senator ni mambo ya kuadvise and all that. Saa hizi wanataka kuwa magavana kama kwa wakati huu. Lakini nataka kusema hivi, to me naweza nikasema these are teething problems in each and every new ideas. Kuna wengine wameingia kwa hii mambo ya ugatuzi si kwa sababu ni wabaya, lakini kwa sababu kutokuelewa. Wameingia pale, wamekuwa magavana, pesa zinapotea, lakini kwa sababu hauelewi. Hatukukaa chini tukajiuliza na tukapiga ile msasa tukasema ukitaka kuwa governor lazima ukuwe na hii na kile. Ile tulikuwa naye ni I can say this about emotions ambao tulikuwa naye.
Kuna dhana kwamba kuna afisi nyingi sana ambazo zimejumuishwa katika katiba ambayo kwa hakika hazifai kuwepo. Yes, sijui kama una maoni tofauti.
Sitaki kusema kama ofisi ambayo itaki kuweka hapa and all that. Nataka kusema hivi, country lazima iwe ni kwamba tumeenda juu, lazima turudi chini tujue haitakani iwe ama hiyo haisiwe. Kwa sababu kuna wale wanasema haitakani, lakini kwa hakika kabisa lazima tuiangalie ni kweli ina maana yake kuwa ama haina maana.
Acha tusikilize mawili machache kutoka pia kwa wasikilizaji ambao nimekujuza kwamba kama unatizama KBC Channel 1, hali kadhalika unasikiliza Radio Taifa Sauti ni ya Mkenya, jumuika nasi kwenye mitandao hiyo ya kijamii Facebook na Twitter at KBC Channel 1 @ilemoka, na hali kadhalika kwenye mitandao kwenye 22162 0700176699 na pia 0700176699 ama 0732745511. Hivyo basi ningependa kushika simu moja kama utaniruhusu Bwana Sam Njoroge, nipate hisia za Wakenya ambao labda wana maswali na labda pia wana hisia tofauti kuhusiana na swala nzima la ugatuzi. Tuanze na huyu hapa. Hello Radio Taifa. Radio Taifa, hello. Radio Taifa, hello.
Hello.
Mambo vipi?
Mambo poa, Isaac Lemoka.
Naam, tunazungumza na nani?
Huyu ndio yule mzee wa Gashie, photocopy mwenyewe ya mzee John Omito.
Karibu sana. Hisia zako kuhusiana na ugatuzi, je, tumeweza kufaulu ama wewe utasema nini?
Mimi kwa upande wangu kama John Omito nikiwa maeneo ya Gashie,
naam,
ugatuzi wamejaribu.
Naam.
Ingawa kuna sehemu zingine hawajajua maana ya ugatuzi. Lakini ukiangalia kuna sehemu baadhi ya viongozi wameelewa ugatuzi ni nini na wamejaribu kufikia ule mwananchi wa chini. Lakini sasa unajua shida ni kwamba ni ile hali ya tamaa. Mtu ambaye ako kwa senate sasa anaona kazi ya senate sio kazi. Tena unakuta ule mwenye alikuwa senate anakimbia kwa anataka ugawa. Sasa unashindwa kama hakuweza kushughulikia ama kuzungumza katika senate kuhusu mambo ya pesa, hata akipewa zile fedha Isaac Lamoka atakosa mpangilio.
Okay, shukrani.
Kwa hiyo tamaa ndio imefanya viongozi wengi wamejaribu kuharibu ugatuzi, lakini kuna baadhi ya wengine wamejaribu, ingawa sitawataja, lakini kuna baadhi tu baadhi wengine wamejaribu. Ukikuta ule mwenye alikuwa usenate na anataka ugavana, ni ile tu tamaa ya kuwa anataka zile pesa ambazo ziko mahali pale kunyonya tu mwananchi, ile hali ya kuzungumzia mambo ya kuhusu fedha katika bunge la Senate hii.
Asante sana, photocopy moja hiyo. Radio Taifa, hello. Mambo vipi?
Poa sana.
Haya, punguza sauti ya radio ama TV tuweze kuwasiliana vizuri.
Vipi bana, vipi?
Safi sana. Tunasema na nani?
Nasema na Odongo Emmanuel.
Odongo Emmanuel, karibu kwenye The Frontline.
Ya, kusema kile naweza kusema.
Naam.
Ni kwamba hawa viongozi wetu hawajajua how to devolution. Hela wanakimbilia pesa lakini hawaelewi bado. Asante.
Okay, asante sana. Umesikiliza Samson Owimbo Ojiayo yuko ndani ya studio. Tutakuwa tunakwenda moja kwa moja kwake Sam Njoroge aweze kuweza kuchanganua. Na kama ulivyosikia Sam pamoja na wageni wetu ndani ya studio wanasema kwamba baadhi ya viongozi hawaelewi ugatuzi, maana ya ugatuzi, na hawaelewi ni jinsi gani wanastahili kusaidia Wakenya, ila wanatamaa sana. Lakini kuna baadhi ya wale ambao hisia zao ni kwamba Kenya haina utamaduni wa kitaasisi, yani ile kwa kimombo wanasema institutional culture, ambayo itaweza kusaidia kupiga debe uongozi mzuri, lakini wale waliopewa majukumu la kusimamia taasisi hizo hawana uwezo huo. Ila ni tamaa kama wanavyosema Wakenya. Zidi kuzungumza na sisi kwenye mitandao hiyo ya kijamii, Facebook na Twitter, na pia kwenye 22162, alafu pia piga simu, tutaweza kuzungumza mawili machache kuhusiana na hilo. Kwako Sam.
Asante sana Isaac Lemoka, na bila shaka tutawasiliana nawe baadaye tupate kusikia maoni ya Wakenya kadha wa kadha kifikia swala muhimu la ugatuzi. But for now, I'm back with my panel, and of course, a lot of issues raised therein. Let's just begin with you, Simeha. This is not the first time this country is attempting devolution. We had a similar system some time ago. Yes. I mean, is it a question of the forest being the same, but the monkeys being different? Is it a question of lack of political will when it comes to devolution?
I think the forest is the same and the monkeys are the same.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. You know, on a serious note, in terms of the ideological orientation of the political leaders we get, and I specifically say political leaders because they set the pace of society. We have many other leaders, but political leaders set the pace in society, how society runs, how society develops, how society reforms, how society advances. It can be either advanced or undermined by political leaders. Immediately after independence, we did have the Majimbo system, the devolved system, complete with the regional governments, regional parliaments, and so on and so forth. Actually, very well outlined in our constitution. But immediately after independence, Mzee Kenyatta killed it because they just couldn't take it that governance can be collective, can be shared. You'll remember if you leap forward, at some point you couldn't refer to any other person as president, because the person who is president and people around him feel that no, we cannot even share a title. Even though president is say president of Law Society of Kenya is a president in a different context, but these men just feel like no way, we cannot share. That is what killed devolution. That is what continues to be devolution, which is otherwise a beautiful, very good form of governance, empowering people at every level to participate in their own development, to actively participate in public affairs, to air their views, to bring their leaders closer to them so that they can hold them accountable. But because we have the same monkeys in terms of most of our political leaders, and I do agree with the gentleman who was speaking on radio, the same monkeys who have ensured that actually they destroy the forest in terms of institutions. Because if the forest stayed healthy, maybe something would happen to these monkeys, but because they've destroyed the forest, they have ensured that they neuter institutions. Even where the constitution demands that we have certain kinds of institutions that can support this system of governance, they want, at the stage of defining those institutions, they want to make sure that they make them so weak that the centralization of power continues. And you know, centralization of power in this nation, in this country, is just about eating. Let me just put it as crudely as we often like to put it. Yeah. How they can control resources for private benefit and use them to perpetuate a patronage system. That you want to benefit, you want to eat nyama, as they've said it recently, you must kotor, you must do this and that. Because they know that devolution empowers people. And if actually when devolution begins to work in this country, this very unhealthy competition we have around the presidency will completely reduce. We will not have this unhealthy competition.
Unhealthy competition. Ray, crossing over to you.
Yeah.
When you look at how the system has been, when you consume reports from the Auditor General's office, staggering figures, a gate in Nandi County worth of 50 million Kenya shillings. Fighting pornography in Bungoma County to the tune of 48 million. Building a toilet in Vihiga worth 11.4 million. Bungoma again buying wheelbarrows worth 100,000 Kenya shillings each. Really, in a system that has the governor, that has senators, that has a member of county assemblies, who exactly bears the brunt for misappropriation of funds at the county?
Sammy, I agree with my colleague in terms of, as a nation, we've been having this dialogue. This is an institutional crisis. And the institutional crisis you get even the last time that we had the anti-corruption summit, the president said, I've given every institution the help, and one institution is pointing to the other. Judiciary will always say, no, the DPP has not brought cases with enough threshold that we can prosecute. The police are also saying we did our part, we forwarded the case. ESCC, they don't have teeth, all over again. And what really, I'm a believer of the top-down, the goodwill that we need. We may have the constitution, yes, Sammy, but we need the constitutionalism, the point to which we really realize that this country needs change. And I think one of the best things that I've heard from top leaders once in a while indicate that this nation may need a dialogue on certain areas. Because sometimes we see on TV about the wanton corruption that is within the police service, and you realize that this has been delved and cascaded in almost all institutions in this country. To a point whereby in this country, even whether the law is clear, the service charter is clear, this service should take 8 days. But I have to see Sammy behind for it to be done. And even to a point whereby even parents are bribing kids to do procurement so that they can procure their lives economically. So you look to a point whereby I believe that we need a dialogue in certain areas. But coming to devolution, I don't want to look at it as half empty. I want to look at it as half full. Because we must realize that Kenya is a young nation. And for heaven's sake is when we have only done the first wave. And in the first wave, I think one thing that we must pick from here, what are the lessons learned? Because the institutional crisis that we have It is even at the national level. What about the county level? I think in terms of the level of preparedness, and I agree, the systemic preparedness that we should have had as a nation, we really rushed on it as a political mileage, but we didn't put up structures in place to make sure that even in terms of the audit system, the oversight system, in terms of, as if I'm elected as a governor, you know, there are governors that just came in place and they realized, okay, I'm a governor. And within a very short time, my cousin becomes the CC Finance. I call another gentleman from Nairobi and I say, you know what? I want you to run up with this thing. So that brought us into a crisis. I love what a caller has just said, that you see, there's a point that we missed it.
Right.
And Sami, what you realize that happened, that people even went to the Senate and thought that Senate was going to do oversight
Exactly.
to the counties, and we translated that to be economic. It's going to give people economic might.
Let's actually define that oversight role.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
define that oversight role.
Yeah.
Cross over to Millie. Has Senate done enough? Has it done what it was supposed to do to oversight?
Not quite. I think that the problem has been that most of the institutions, the same way we have said the governors spent the first year, I remember the first governors conference, they were very keen on having a conference that showed the pomp and the class
oomph.
and the status
Yes.
around the seat, rather than an opportunity for governors to learn and get to learn from each other as much as possible. And it is the same thing with the Senate, because they kept looking at this oomph and pomp that was around the governorship, and they forgot that they had a big chunk of load that was upon them. Therefore, they did not put in place enough procedures for them to be able to completely and adequately oversight the county government, the systems in place, put networks with the county, so that people would be feeling very comfortable going to raise complaints and concerns directly at the Senate and getting the Senate to actually run that oversight role. Much as the ordinary person as well too was also not prepared to play their oversight role.
Exactly.
I still insist on this, reason being
Yes.
that we brought in a katiba that anticipated a citizenry that were very conscious of their rights, that were very active and very participative, not a citizenry that would be invited for a meeting and the first thing they'll say is Agenda 1. Agenda 1 being allowance before you talk to us. Ningapi. You know?
I'd like you to hold that thought, because
Yes.
again, on their part, senators have said, you know what, you failed to make us chairpersons of the county development boards.
Yes.
You failed to give us a kitty. So we've had those issues being raised. That is precisely what we shall get back to on the other side of the break, which we take right now, but we'll be back in a moment. Thank you so much for keeping it KBC Channel 1, Y254 channel and Radio Taifa. Welcome back to the program. My name is Samuel Njoroge. Frontline 2017, we're taking a devolution scorecard and how the situation has been so far and which way ahead. And Isaac Lemoka is, of course, in the Radio Taifa studios. And in a bit, we shall be crossing over to him to sample your feedback on this particular topic that we are having this evening, I beg your pardon. So keep talking to us. 22162 is the SMS line. And of course, the hashtag on Twitter is the Frontline KBC. And on Facebook, it is as free as it gets. Doesn't need to cost 2 million Kenya shillings now, does it? Right, Embu County? But again, but again, let's keep with the conversation. We were looking at the oversight role that has been played by the Senate. And in your opinion, Millie, it has not been sufficient. But I'd like to come to you, Chekai. MCA ameachwa wapi kwa hii conversation? Have they silently escaped with blame from this particular issue?
I would say that 70% of the MCAs countrywide are form 4 leavers, and most of them are poor. So when they were elected into county assembly, the governors were using them to oversight on corruption, because most of them, if you go to Ansora County, there are about 61 MCAs who are caught, who are found giving bribes and receiving bribes on the issue of the governor. So I want to leave out my comrade who said that most of senators didn't understand the roles of a senator and a governor. You can't tell me that somebody like Professor Nyang'o Nyong'o didn't understand the functions of a governor and of a senator and the Honorable Rengo. So they understood, and that's why they fight for Senate. But we have a number of senators who didn't understand the functions of being a senator. Like, for example, in Nairobi here, the current senator didn't understand actually the roles of being a senator. And that's why his work was always fighting with the governor. He forgot the roles he was to perform as a senator: oversight, representation, and fighting for the rights of the Nairobians. And also, the same senator and a number of senators are going to vie for governor. And most of them will win. For example, if you go to Bungoma, the current governor, initially he was working in a corrupt government. He worked under Moi government as a DO. He worked under Kibaki government as a PS for livestock. The same Kibaki government and the Moi government, there was the issue of golden bag. Kibaki government, the issue of angle-leasing, where Lusaka was in that government. So when we devolved the system of governance, we devolved also corruption. That's why somebody like Lusaka, because people of Bungoma didn't understand him, they thought this is a savior who has been a PS and has experience, they will give him the job. And when they gave him the job, he performed and he worked like a cartel. And now, for us to be safe, is all these governors who has been involved in looting count resources should be dealt with. And somebody like Lusaka, somebody like Machakos governor who has done some short jobs, like people call him smart governor. But if you go to Machakos, there are roads which he built that they now have potholes. These governors after election, they should be taken to committee.
Okay.
Again, my point before you go to
Simeha, yes.
Yes, Meha.
Yes.
And I want to say this, that we have a number of senators who understand the roles of devolution. Some of them is Nyang'o Nyong'o. And that's why he has gone to Kisumu to rescue Kisumu people.
Well,
let me do a little bit of this, because he mentioned that there is something.
I saw that spark, but again, Ray, quickly respond. I need to come to Simeha. Yes.
But I think the young comrade needs to really cool down a little bit. He's a young guy, and we've been here for quite some time, so he needs to at least brew some facts. Before he makes a lot of noise around it. Yeah, sometimes it's not about raising the voice, but it's how you weigh down with the facts. There's one thing that I said that he didn't capture very rightly. I said people went to the Senate because of the culture and the mentality we had that Senate was going to be controlling a lot of funds, and that's what you even highlighted, Sami, by saying that you remember senators said that also they needed some development kitties, so that the 1 billion and everything. Yes. That's why you get right now, there's quite a number of senators who are now going to vie as governors, because now what they now perceive that governors have a lot of money and governors are really misappropriating. And I agree with the other fact that in terms of what has transpired in the counties, some of them are very abhorrible. But at the end of the day, again, let's also lay them with facts and not become more of activists.
And not make a lot of allegations. Simeha, there's been a lot of wrangles between governors, their deputies, governors and the MCAs. To what extent has that costed both the spirit and the letter of devolution and the Constitution?
First, let me pick up what has been said by the last two speakers and link it to what you're saying. First of all, I think for myself, I'm very, very proud to be an activist. I hear that language a lot, that people, talk about activism in a very negative way. And I completely disagree. That is a very positive thing. It's what has brought this country at least to where we are, with the kind of openness we have, is because of activism. And I will also encourage the young man, don't keep quiet, don't shut up. You know, as a young man, either you join them and have a nice suit, drive a big car, then you get noticed, or you do exactly what you're doing. Make noise about public issues. Make a lot of noise, actually. And even threaten about public issues. You're actually doing a good thing.
But what
no,
I've said,
hold on.
I've said,
so
let us do it with facts.
That's the thing.
Okay,
I think we don't need to overblow it.
Okay.
That I agree with facts, but let the young man make as much noise as possible
with facts.
With facts.
That's what I'm saying.
If you could give us time also to please contribute, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. You're talking about the wrangles. The wrangles, none was any better than the other. They were wrangling. They have been wrangling because they are competing on eating. The governor is looking over his shoulder because his deputy is, looking in too close. The governor is wrangling with MCAs because the MCAs think the governor is eating more than they are eating. The MCAs are pushing the governor because they want more than, they tested a bit and they saw it was very good, this looted money, so they want to loot a lot more. When the governor attempts to resist, they push and threaten. So all those wrangles you saw were not because any person was better than the other. Mutua here, as he says, tried to, in my humble opinion, cheat the public that he's fighting with his deputy because his deputy doesn't like development. And it applies to in many, many counties. It's basically because they were disagreeing on the eating, on the looting, that they could, and that is good for the public, ironically. Ironically, those fights, because if these people are going to agree, they would have looted even a lot more. But once in a while, they actually exposed each other. You know, I mean, any one of us can talk about the counties we are most familiar with. Once in a while, in Viga County, I saw the MCAs get upset because the governor hasn't given them enough, and now actually begin to expose him on the ills they have been doing together, but now they are distancing themselves.
Right.
Even if we do not do anything, the first point is to know the truth about what our leaders are saying, what they are doing, and how it benefits or injures us. So these disagreements, to a large extent, given the performance of county governments, were beneficial in terms of exposing the rot in the county governments. I should hope, but unfortunately, my hope hangs on very thin thread. Because this information, unfortunately, these facts are not feeding the current campaigns towards the coming election.
Exactly.
They are not informing the citizen to get angry with these people.
In fact, that is something we would like to take up as soon as we return from Isaac Lemoka, who's in our Radio Taifa studios, because despite it all, the cycle appears to continue. And the question is why? And that is what we will be addressing as soon as we sample your feedback, courtesy of my colleague Isaac Lemoka at our Radio Taifa studios. Over to you, Lemoka.
So Dakta, asante sana mwenzangu Sam Njoroge. Tumewapata kwa njia safi sana pamoja na wageni wetu ambao wako hapo, hususan Joseph Simeka amezungumzia mambo mawili machache kuhusiana na jinsi uongozi umekuwa centralized, na akaongezea kuhusiana na swala la kula, yani eating, kula nyama choma literally. Unajua, sijui utasema nini mwenzangu Samson kuhusiana na masala ya kula nyama na ugatuzi ama power kwa centralized. Je, lipi ambalo linastahili kufanyika?
Nimefurahia Semera na Ochieng and Chekai. Kuna Ochieng amesema mambo ya activism, na Semera anaambia Ochieng ya kwamba mambo ya kuongea kuhusu mambo ya activism kwa njia ambayo si nzuri. But I want to say this.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, si kwamba mwenye amefanya activism mbele ya mwingine ama kuanzia, maybe mimi na Shemea tunaweza kuwa ejimoda, but as far as this ya activism na Chekai, I think I'm older than them. I've done that for years, more than 23 years. But that one aside, kuna ile mambo ya emotion ambayo inatoka from the civil society that actually they have the checklist who is right and who is wrong. And actually unasikia anasema kufaa koti na suti na dereva. Wale wanafaa hizo ambao unasikia leso na suka wamevaa, lakini they are millionaires. So that what we know from, because civil society, more than 47 organization, I can tell you what they do. But that one aside, kuhusu mambo venye amesema Chikai, arudi chini akisema saizi kwa sababu Professor Nyong'o is actually saizi anataka governor Kisumu vile Chikaya amesema. La kwanza nataka kusema hivi. Huyo ni MP wangu aliyekuwa MP akawa governor senator. Mimi siongee wa Anyang' Nyong'o, na wale wananijua mimi na Anyang' Nyong'o na Orengo tumetoka mbali. Lakini
wacha tuzungumzie mawili machache kuhusiana na 1/3 rule, ambapo naulizwa swali hili lielekezwe kwake Ray Ochieng. Anasema Benson Mungai kwamba regarding the 1/3 rule, the situation is even dire as ingenious devices are being used to circumvent it. For example, in Kericho anasema kuna watu ambao wanajifanya kuwa wanatoka katika jamii moja ya Talai clan ambao ndio wanajulikana kuwa ni mojawapo wa jamii zilizokita mizizi na tamaduni ambazo wamekuwa excluded sana katika jamii hiyo. Sasa hao watu ambao wanajifanya kuwa wanatoka katika jamii hiyo wanataka kazi ya kuwa kazi katika county assembly ama kuwa MCAs na kadhalika, lakini to this it is to the perennial detrimental of actual members of the clan. So the question is to Ray Ochieng, with no clear solutions from authorities that effectively address this, why would ordinary Kenyans and affected groups not be skeptical about the value of the process? Kwako Sam.
At that very note, why shouldn't we be skeptical of the process, Ray, given the issues that Isaac has raised right there?
Yes, Sammy, thank you so much for even getting absorbed from the other side. But remember, I said 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. That means 3 out of 10. I'm also giving a red card in terms of performance. I'm not giving it a clean bill of health. The only part that I've been trying to highlight, Sammy, is that devolution has worked at some level. There was a time that if you go to the counties, they would easily identify a Nairobian in terms of somebody who dresses very smartly. And actually, we also have to disabuse this fact that people who put on suits like us
Nairobi
are the cartels. And you've heard that even sometimes people are in jeans and khaki and they are the people who have the billions. Sure. So let's not go into this camouflage. But what I'm saying is that I'm on record by saying I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm saying 7 out of 10 means there are 3 out of 10 that has gone wrong in my way. And I've said all these things, despite them going wrong, I'm saying we are at the beginning. And I highlighted one thing, there are lessons learned. And I'm saying that in the next wave that we are going to be having, actually the threshold of accountability is going to be a little bit very high. And so when I did my opening remarks, I said that with the time we are going to be having kind of model counties that are going to start to emerge. And we are going to now to pin down some governors that you don't need to go to Tanzania. Why can't we see the same county X that has got the same resources? And as a matter of fact, I was going through the numerics that we have from the CRA, Commission of Revenue Allocation. As at now, as at 2017, the counties have received 1 trillion Kenyan shillings. That's what the counties have received. And you know there was a back and forth between Senate and Parliament in terms of when Senate was saying that let's give the counties 334 million in terms of billion in terms of allocation. But there's been a back and forth. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that everything has worked.
Yes.
There are things that have not worked. But I'm saying these gaps we can only tighten. But I'm also saying that where things have gone wrong, let's punish them with the due process of the law.
With the 8th of August decision.
Yeah.
But Millie, moving to you, yes. Despite it all, despite the issues, despite the wrangles, despite the clanism, despite the corruption, we can still see some of these people coming back to office quite literally. What is the problem? Where is the problem?
I think the biggest problem we have is that, which we have already said anyway, is that we don't understand what the role is supposed to be. So currently, we have a blank check that has been handed over to us that we can write as Kenyans and be sure that we get the kind of governance that we want. But the conversation towards filling that check is not guided. Therefore, right now, when I'm saying this governor and not this other governor, I am not looking at what that governor I expect of them. I am not looking at their manifesto or how they sell themselves and how they tell me that they will ensure that I participate in that governance process. So that next time round, if you're going to buy a wheelbarrow for 2 million, I know. And I am part of it, and I understand why it is important for us to have that. And then we are all in it together. I'm not saying that we all eat together, please get me right. But what I'm saying is that there will be clear structures for participation if we understood what we expect of them. Look at the conversations we're having with the, of who will be senator. Right now, the conversation is that seat is not really important. So we are not really concentrating. Who is there doesn't matter. It just matters which party, if we are supporting the party. Yet it is a key organ that determines allocation of resources between the two governments, is the one that is supposed to work, for example, with the liaison committee that took over from TA, so that they try and ensure that the national government and the county governments work together for the good of this country. We are still in the conversation looking for the wrong things. Therefore, that check is still going to be filled with the wrong figure. And my fear is that maybe, I think that the success we may get will be that we may curb a bit of the corruption, but whether we will be able to actually improve the services, I'm not sure.
It's a tall order.
It's a tall order.
Still a castle in the air. Chikai, come the 8th of August this year, what issues will inform the decision you make at the ballot?
In Kenya and in Africa, we don't elect leaders based on the issues or the manifestos. For instance, if you ask how many people have read the NASA manifesto, it's only the Prime Minister and NASA leaders.
And the writer himself.
Plus me.
Oh.
You didn't see that coming.
I didn't see
you see, you ask yourself, for example, from Central Kenya, they will vote for Jubilee to the last man. But none of them from the grassroots has read the Jubilee manifesto. So you ask yourself, why? You go to Nyanza, they will vote NASA to the last man. But none of them from the grassroots has read NASA manifesto. From Western the same. So the question is, why? It's because in Africa, election is, or the politics is mobilized along ethnic line. In fact, election is about doing census for the communities. How many Kikuyus for them? How many Luyas for them? And the issue of manifesto, the agenda, it only happens in the UK and the US. Perhaps in the next 50 years, we'll also be there. Or the next 100 years, we'll also be at the level of UK, the level of US, where you don't elect somebody based on whether I come from Bungoma or Trans Nzoia or whether I come from Nyeri. No. As per the person's agenda. And that's why this coming election, we are going to have people like Waiguru being elected governor, and yet she is the mastermind. She is the economic looter of 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. And that's why you will have somebody like I don't know, Waiditu, coming to being the governor. But if you look at the background, in fact, even his education is questionable. And that's why people like Kabogo have been sacrificed because of this kind of politics. And my last comment on that.
Yes.
Right now, we are having the problems and challenges of devolution because of the current government. Because in 2010, there are people who are opposed to the current constitution. And right. The same people being given the mandate of implementing the constitution. So they cannot implement what they opposed. Again, and you realize that...
Very quickly.
Realize that actually, this government, for us, maybe for the devolution to work, and I give it 2% out of 10.
I'll have to cut you short, Chekai, because we've got to release our sister station, KBC Channel 1, because it's time for the news. But the discussion continues on Y254 channel and definitely our Radio Taifa studios right here. So keep the conversation. Let's keep the conversation going. Keep tweeting, keep talking to us. We shall appreciate your views, definitely. However, Chekai, there's the issue you've mentioned about Waitito and Kabogo in Kiambu. I think it's proper that we do not mislead the residents of Kiambu by informing them that anyone has been sacrificed on behalf of the other. So that comment is hereby withdrawn, and it doesn't represent in any way the position of KBC Channel 1 or any one of its affiliate stations. So I'd like to come over to you, Simeha. Come the 8th of August. Yes, you'll get an opportunity to interject very fast. Oh, okay. She's really burning with the questions.
Okay.
I don't want her to burn to ashes.
No, I just wanted us to be clear when we talk about the manifestos and not reading. Why have Kenyans been talking about the laptop? They keep saying it was in the manifesto. So Kenyans read. And
The
Kenyans
stadia.
know. Yes. Why do they keep asking about the stadia? Why did they keep asking about national unity? Even those who don't read, they listen. When the rare times when our politicians campaign selling their agenda. So let's not completely belittle Africa and say that we don't completely listen to manifesto.
We are not naive.
We are not completely up there, but we are not completely down there.
We're not underground
Yes.
either. Over to you, Simeha. Come the 8th of August this year, when you even look at a position like the gubernatorial position, the senatorial position, the member of county assembly, key positions around devolution, what should be the key issues that inform the quality of the decision made at the ballot?
First of all, we should go to that ballot, that booth with hope. I say this deliberately, especially for the young man. He says that maybe we will only change for the better in 50 or 100 years. No, if you look at the last, from 2003 particularly, to where we are now, this country has changed tremendously for the better, tremendously. And it's actually possible in the space of just 10 years, a country can completely transform and develop enormously. So let people go to the ballot box with hope, to the booth first, that's where you decide, before you deposit. Let people go there with hope, and that I want to make this decision so that it can give me a better future. A better future should not be 50, because you lose hope if you are told the better future you will have is 50 years or 100 years or in heaven. I want my better future to be to start August 9th, going forward.
Going forward.
And when I think like that, then the issues that we must go into that booth, voting booth, with are, for me, the foremost is the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. It sets, in my opinion, a very good foundation for transforming society for the better, to lessen the issues, the challenges we are complaining about on this set and out there and in many places. It sets a very good, positive foundation, right, that if we get leaders who can commit faithfully to its implementation, who can commit to interpreting it in a progressive manner and put in place policies and laws that cater for everybody in the country, and especially enlarging the space for participation in governance, as I actually think all of us have mentioned that.
Agree, yeah.
Because it's extremely important that development is not about brick and mortar, it's not about projects it's not about the market, it's about people.
It's about people.
So we go into that booth where we go to make choices, thinking about leaders, however rare they are, but leaders who at least have given us some hope that for them leadership is about people. It's about us, how they can create the environment in which we all participate. We criticize, we give ideas, we practically participate in developing this country. That is really what I hope that we go into that ballot booth with.
However rare.
However rare, of course, but they're there.
Lemoka, I'd like to hand it over to you right about now, but I'm told we shall be getting to that in a while. Gentlemen, just even as we prepare as we prepare this. Oh, there's a lady. I'm so sorry. Where are my manners this evening? My apologies.
Thank you.
My apologies. So, gentlemen, lady, as we prepare to bring this particular discussion to a comma for today, because it will certainly continue. Ray, we've said the crop could be rare, or the species could be rare. We say that we go to the ballot with hope. We've outlined all these issues that have sort of, slowed down the pace of the game of devolution. Moving forward, post the election, and post the decision that will be made at the ballot, what should we expect as an electorate?
Definitely the outcome that we'll have post-election will be the outcome that we are going to be creating during the election. So at the end of the day, we are not going to get best leaders if we are not going to elect the best leaders. And I think I was in several stations today, and I was really mad with the media in terms of why did we not highlight the other fringe candidates that we even termed fringe. And sometimes people have even bashed them that they do not amount to anything because we only have 2 horses. So what am I saying? From the governor, and I think Chekai also highlighted the different scenarios, what we have in this country. I think my sister has been having one narrative this evening, that the people have the power. And I think from the point whereby the way we have had these discussions, that moving, we may not even wait for 50 years. And I always say one thing, Sammy, Kenyans know the right thing. And we always say the right thing, but we always do the wrong thing.
True.
If we will decide to begin to do right, because there are points whereby you'll get governors who come with issues and a thug, and what do? We end up going for the thug because they're going to dish money, and it's not only on one side of the divide. It's both in Jubilee, it's both in NASA, and it's all, but we know what is right. So I think what I'm saying, the traces and the packets of brilliance that we're going to get post-election will depend on the right choices we are going to make. But Sammy, I want to say here, if we are going to make those wrong choices for money and sell our ideas, let's not wait post-8 to begin to demand results. Will not come.
So right about now, I'm told that my colleague Isaac Lemoka is ready. Isaac Lemoka, I'm crossing over to you just to get a feel of what our audience is saying this evening in relation to this particular topic. Okay, I get your cue loud and clear, Isaac, and I will definitely be back with you in a moment. Millie, coming to you. You've said that we still hold the power, but it's ironic that we're not empowered enough to make a credible decision. So how do we untangle ourselves from that position?
I think that we need to remind ourselves, there's a thing that we normally think of, that kura is now, election is now. We die with elections for now, thinking that everything will finish now. That's why you find we can sell our IDs for 200, 500 bob, saying, I'll get another ID and I'll vote next election. But it is important for us to remember that kura yako, your future.
Yes.
It is going to determine how you're going to live and how things are going to happen for you for the next 3, 4, 5 years. So it is not about now. It is about your life for the next 5 years before you get another chance again. I think if we remember that constantly as Kenyans, then we'll do it, because we have done it. We know there have been instances in the past. I'm sure that Simeka can give us many examples where we've been told kula hapa na kura pale, and we did it. We have been told, we have told certain people that yes, tumekula, tumeenjoy, lakini sasa wacha tuende tupatie yule ambaye tunapenda. We have done it as Kenyans, and I think we can do it again and go there making a choice that this is the person we think will protect our resources and will walk this journey with us. Yes.
Protect our resources and walk this journey with us. Remember, our question for the evening has been, has devolution worked in your county? Has devolution worked in your county? So in a bit, we'll be crossing over to Isaac to let us know what exactly you're saying. So as soon as he gives me a positive cue, I will definitely be with him. But the conversation continues on this other side. Chekai, You've raised so many issues in the course of this discussion, and you've been very passionate while at it. But again, people are curious to know, what does Chekai stand for when it comes to this conversation on devolution? What issues characterize the decisions and the stands that you make?
The devolution, I'll say, it is a plus to Kenya and the Kenyans at large. Because of devolution, we have come this far. And what I will advise when the next government comes into place, that we have proper mechanism of participation, especially in the counties. So far, the only county that is doing proper participation with the public, engaging them on the issue of governance and devolution, is Makueni County government. In Nairobi here, we have had challenges when it comes to participation. For example, if you go to a meeting, you are given a very huge pamphlet, of which you are expected to give opinions from the same pamphlet. So you find Mama Mboga from maybe Kibera or Magadara cannot read this big pamphlet at the same time give opinion from the same pamphlet. And therefore, we should have proper ways of engaging the public when it comes to participation. And that way it will work. Again, on the same note, the budget circle of the counties, various counties, all the counties in Kenya, should be also in Kiswahili. Because there's a day I went to participation at City Hall here in Nairobi, and one lady asked, I can't read English. Is there a Swahili paper which I can also be able to participate using Swahili? And she was told that here we only have English pamphlets. And you see, it's a very huge pamphlet, almost 120 pages. And you are given 1 hour to read the same book
and participate.
So it becomes a challenge to some of us. So, and you know, the culture of Kenyans, they have a negative view when they see big volumes of books. They can't read. So actually, when the NASA government comes into place, we should have proper ways of engaging the public.
It is a question of if. Right now, Chekai, let us not sell a political agenda.
Okay, I'm not selling the political agenda.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, Bamba, let's have proper ways of engaging citizens when it comes to public participation. Actually, the parliament should have a law on what, because nobody can divide public participation. Because you go to a hall and you find 20 people and they are rubber stamped as public participation. But I thank the current governor because so far, for the last 2 years, we have had proper engagement with the government. But I will advise that in the next parliament, let me say it because I don't say the government, because I'm the next government. Okay, the next parliament, the 12th parliament, should come up with a legislation which regulates and defines the mechanisms of public participation.
Absolutely, yeah. It's one of the things we are looking forward to. Come the next House, we should see something like the Public Participation Bill of 2018 and how that will define what exactly public participation entails in this country. Simeha, we gotta bring this to a close, I'm told, but your closing remarks.
In my closing remarks, the devolution is not just about county governments, but inevitably they are the foremost representation of devolution. But devolution is a lot more than that, because it's the system of government that removes power from the center and moves it to as many places horizontally and also vertically as possible. So when we are analyzing a devolution or looking at devolution, even when we vote for our MP, let's try and listen to this man or woman and see what things have they been saying, or do they believe in with regards to how power should be shared, how power should be handled in society. Even when and especially so, as Millie said, especially when we are voting in the senator, in terms of the role they have in devolution. Even when we are voting in a president, let's listen to this man. There's no woman candidate, is there? Let's listen to this man. Is there one?
Yes. Kamar, for example.
No.
President.
President, yes. No, I'm talking President,
Yeah.
Senator, they are.
Yeah.
That let's listen to these men and let's, what are they saying about devolving power fiscally, as you said? How much money are they saying they'll take to the counties? Administratively, how much powers are they saying they'll take to the counties? What will they allow? And I use the word allow deliberately because even where the Constitution says it should happen, if a president decides to be obstructionist, it will not happen.
It will not happen.
How much will they allow to go to the counties? So I think when we go into this, coming into the both to make our decisions, let's think devolution because it is a huge foundation stone for our future. Which future should, I think, the next cycle should begin on the 9th of August 2017.
The 9th of August.
Not 50 years from now.
I would like to negotiate the risk of a parting shot as far as Chekai is concerned. He might leave me with a crisis punchline. But I'd like to cross over to you, Millie. Closing remarks very fast, 30 seconds, Ray, 30 seconds. Then we bring this show to a close, right? Chekai, thank you very much. Starting with you.
I think that as we go to the ballot on 8th, it is important for us to remember that Kenya is also a diversified society. We must think of our women leaders, our men leaders. We must think of marginalized communities. We must think of all of them. And they have presented themselves as candidates at various levels.
At various levels.
Yes.
Ray, over to you.
Yeah, I think Simea, Chekai, and Millie, and me, I think the discussion has been so robust, and it just shows how complex devolution can be.
Can be.
And also it shows how we are still trying to figure it out. I think as we figure it out, it's very clear. Let's make the right decision, but I think even as a nation, we must collaboratively bring systems in place so that in the next wave, we don't make and discuss the same issues of runaway corruption escaping. So I think the power is with the Kenyans, and we should make the right decision.
Absolutely. I stand observed, and this time around, I'll begin with the lady and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming to the show. It has been a pleasure beginning this conversation. It doesn't end today. It doesn't end today because come Tuesday next week, it will be season finale for Frontline Season 1. All right? So definitely look forward to a show come Tuesday next week. Check out our social media platforms in terms of what show exactly we shall be having for you come Tuesday next week. It will be the 1st of August, the maiden day in a month that is supposed to see the country make a decision quite literally a week later. That's why I'm calling it a finale. That's why I describe it as a show you need to look forward to. Until then, thank you for watching. And right here, we define public participation and appreciate it too. So thank you to all of you who participated in the course of this program. We take you not for granted, and definitely we shall keep engaging with you, especially online where this conversation does continue. My name is Samuel Njoroge. On behalf of my colleague Isaac Lamoka and the entire production crew, we do wish you a good evening and a fantastic week ahead. We'll see you on Tuesday next week for the Frontline 2017 season finale, and I will see you tomorrow for Good Morning Kenya, the only way to start your day. God bless you all abundantly.